A good Sunday evening to everyone. It should be a good week. Shavua Tov. I would like to discuss with you today a halachic question that was asked. Rose Junger asked the following question. There is something that is called living lettuce. What's living lettuce? So a few pictures were sent by Rosie, and it appears that it's a lettuce that comes with its roots system. It's in a plastic, and as a result of the fact that your lettuce is not just cut lettuce in a bag that after a few days no longer looks like something too appetizing, it retains moisture, it retains life, and therefore it is called living lettuce. And from my understanding, it could remain in your refrigerator for a week, perhaps two. And the question, which is a very good question, on Shabbos, would it be permissible to remove a leaf from the root system? In other words, we all know that on Shabbos, reaping kotzer is prohibited, and no one would go to a plant, for example, and take off a leaf or prick a strawberry, for example. So you are not to detach something from its source of life. Well, if so, the same should apply to our living lettuce. Perhaps it's considered a source of life when it is attached to its roots. By removing it, you are reaping, and that is kotzer. Now, the Talmud talks about this idea, something called oker davar megidulo, that a person is not supposed to remove something from its source of growth. For example, you shouldn't be scraping moss off a rock on Shabbos. So too, if let's say someone places an avocado pit in water and it takes roots in the water, you are not to remove it from the water. In the olden days, when people would keep their potatoes throughout the winter on a floor that was basically soil, and sometimes roots would emerge from the potato into the soil, you were not allowed to remove those potatoes on Shabbos. That would be considered kotzer, reaping. So the question is, what is the status of removing a leaf from this living lettuce? Would it be permissible, perhaps? Because after all, even with this root system, right, it's not going to be able to live on for an extended period of time, right? It's only to give it a little bit more life than the regular bag of lettuce. Or perhaps you are being oker davar megidulo. So this was a question that was asked, and this was something that was new to me. So I decided to contact the kashrus agencies. Kashrus agencies do a lot more than just deal with direct kashrus. They also deal with halachic issues that relate to food. They are very familiar with the food market. They are familiar with the new products that are arriving on the shelves in supermarkets. So I felt that those would be the appropriate individuals to address the issue. And obviously, if you ask one question to different rabbis, you could expect different answers. And this is what I got. So one of the halachic authorities who addressed the issue was local, Rabbi Miller, Rabbi Shlomo Miller, one of the greatest Torah scholars in North America, perhaps in the world. And the rabbi of the COR told me that he asked Rabbi Miller, and Rabbi Miller believed that removing a leaf of the living lettuce is actually oker davar megidulo and a violation of kotzer, perhaps rabbinic. But the idea is that when you remove a leaf, yes, you are uprooting it, right? You are reaping it. You are removing it from its source of life, and there's an issue. I also sent this question to kashrus agencies in the United States, and it developed a discussion between the CRC in Chicago and the Star K in Baltimore. So they turned to Rabbi Heineman, who is a big posek in Baltimore and the posek for the Star K. And Rabbi Heineman believed that this is not oker davar megidulo. Because fact is, the root system is not its real source of life. Its source of growth was when it was sitting in some kind of hydroponic pool with nutrients in the water. When the root system was removed, it is already detached. Yes, it lives longer, but no, when you remove that lettuce leaf on Shabbos from the root system, you are not being oker davar megidulo. And it is similar to a person cutting a slice from any vegetable. There's still life, right? Items that are fruits and vegetables are still alive in some ways. So therefore, there is no halachic issue when it comes to the living lettuce. So we have here a debate and perhaps a challenge for everyone to do a little bit more research about the living lettuce. And the nice thing is when people ask good questions and they create a halachic debate, the debate is magnificent because we are discussing Torah. We're trying to figure out how to practice our Judaism, how to connect to Shabbos, how to connect to our tradition, and how to connect to the Almighty. So that's the halachic discussion for today. I do thank you for listening. It should be a good week, a Shavua Tov to all. Let's stay safe and keep spirits high. Obviously, with words of Torah, there is nothing better to turn to during a challenging period of time. Thank you. Bye-bye.